right now, no matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life.
Okay, so this video will not be quite as enthusiastic as the ones I usually make on this channel, and it is going to take quite a bit of effort to stop myself from sounding as frustrated as I am about this whole issue. I will give a content warning now for brief allusions to child grooming. Nothing will be discussed in detail, as that is not the point of this video, but I feel it's a necessary warning to give nonetheless. I was originally going to show clips from other channels to exemplify what I'm saying in this video, but I realized as I was writing this that in doing so I would essentially be bullying children. I rethought my intentions behind this video at the time and made what I believe to be a good decision to pivot away from an energized rant, which is what I originally was kind of working towards, and into a more informative discussion, but there are still a few notes of frustration and anger to this, so I apologize for that, but it is something that frustrates me. It's an issue in this community and how YouTube works as a whole, and it needs to be talked about. While you sit back and enjoy my strange accent, please keep in mind the content you produce and the content you consume online. As an artist, I spend a lot of my time compressing my spine, I mean drawing at my desk, and for that reason I watch a lot of videos. Most of the time I don't pay a great deal of attention to the actual visuals and merely listen to people rant and ramble about various subjects, and lately that has been a lot of drama. They amuse me from an outside perspective, and I find nothing wrong with them, typically. Until something big happens. For the last few weeks, I've been watching a trend occur. YouTube's algorithm has started to push very small channels making videos on a topic I've engaged with once. I know drama has dropped because my homepage is absolutely bloated with videos less than 10 minutes long on the same subject. This, my friends, is what we call the hate train. Creators jumping on a popular topic to gain views while it's still relevant, without having much to add to the situation, if anything at all. For the most part, it's silly and excusable, but when it comes to, allegations of child grooming and predatory actions, it becomes a big problem. You should not, for the most part, be making videos on this, unless you are directly involved or a large channel which is informed and has more to give. Get out of the comments section, let me explain my point of view here. My issue isn't with the amount of videos being made, but the reach and content of those videos. For an example, I'm going to use the most recent video explosion, that being the Synnibear03 situation. If you are watching this, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by spoon-feeding you the whole situation. I just need an example that's as blatant as possible and as recent as possible. On September 15th, 2024, a video dropped from a channel named Birdie, the creator of this video being Jack, entitled "My Roommate Groomed a 14-year-old, I Need Help." I am not here to discuss, and I refuse to discuss any details of the video and the subsequent documents, although, again, I have looked through them as an adult. If you comment about it trying to get my whole situation in the comments, I'm not going to respond to you, and I'll be pretty unhappy with you as well. Long story short, adults need to stop befriending minors, stop talking to them on Discord, for God's sake. But this video resulted in a chain reaction. Videos came out left and right from creators who are primarily children. The problem with them became pretty evident. They were identical videos, essentially. They all recapped the situation from Jack's point of view and boiled it down to its very core essence, most omitting the relevant evidence because of their ages. The moment I opened up the exposed documents, the first thing I saw was this. Quote, The artwork in this document is censored, the NSFW, but the conversations that me and her had are still graphic, and I would recommend being 16 or older if you are going to read this. Many of the videos I have seen covering the situation are under the length of 10 minutes, sometimes as low as 5. They're almost always made by people who are under the age of 16, or at the very least under the age of 18. A lot of them do not specify their ages on their profiles, and I completely agree with this. I don't think minors should be saying their ages anywhere online, and it's a dangerous game. These videos, just by their very nature, are not transformative. They do not add commentary, they do not bring something new to the table or a different perspective or idea. Essentially, they have nothing to add. And if you don't have anything to add, if you haven't looked deeply into the situation enough to find something new, making a video is a poor idea. You are essentially turning yourself into a mouthpiece for the original creator, someone you do not know personally and do not know if you can trust. If you have not looked into evidence yourself, you should definitely not be making a video claiming your own stance on the issue. Also, it's a bit of a waste of your time, because realistically, so few people are going to see it compared to how many people saw the original video. This segues me nicely into my second point of this video, which is actually technically my main point of this video. I can see a lot of disagreements coming from this one, but you are not spreading awareness. Again, hear me out. I have just over 1k subscribers at this time, and most of the videos I post will get between 100 and 300 views, depending. It depends on what kind of content it is. My animations, unfortunately, do tend to flop on their faces, but that's just how the algorithm works. My well-performing videos may get up to a K, which is great. On an ordinary day, few people will see them. Now consider that many of the people I've seen making these 5 to 10 minute videos on spreading awareness have less than that. I have seen people with 300, 100, 15. 15 is an actual example. I don't know how that ended up on my page, but algorithms making videos where they awkwardly and uncertainly rehash Birdie's video. Birdie himself has, at the time of scripting, 118k subscribers. Chances are, anyone watching your video exists in the same circle as you and has also been recommended Birdie's video. The original has a lot more information and has a lot more association with the crime that it is claiming has been committed as well. You need to get your information directly from the source. People should not be coming to you, they should be going to the original. It is not helpful. You are not spreading awareness, you are just spreading the same thing in a watered down way, and it ends up with the whole internet telephone thing, where information is twisted and misconstrued, unfortunately, each step along the way. It is not intentional, no one is trying to spread misinformation, but you will if you spread quote-unquote awareness on something you are not properly educated on. You are essentially capitalizing on the pain of others, which I know people don't want to do, and that is not their intention, and they don't realize that they are doing it. Whew, I got a little emotional with that one. Let me continue. The worst factor of these rehash videos is the potential for spreading misinformation in a way where it cannot be rescinded later. A great example of this is the 2018 Spoctor situation. I'm not talking about the recent one, I'm talking about the old one with Atari and Pentagon. The recent one is way out of my comfort zone to talk about here. But essentially, 3 videos were made outing a person for something that he had not at the time done, and then hundreds and hundreds of videos were made parroting this information uncritically. Again, same thing as we're seeing today. Not transformative, not adding anything. A lot of the people didn't even seem like they had looked at the evidence. They had taken it very much at face value. Later, when the other videos were removed and the originals were completely gone, there were still hundreds of videos up saying the same horrible thing about a person who had not done anything wrong at the time. And those were much more difficult to be removed. This is the problem. You can't take it back as easily when you've parroted it. You need to be directly informed about the situation constantly and know when to take your video down and when to apologize. A much better way of doing it would be spread it through your community post, through your Instagram story, spread it through a blank video with a link in the description to the original video. You should not be treading over old ground just to jump on the bandwagon and get a quick handful of views. That is not appropriate. That is not constructive. That is how you end up with the toxic community that we have today, where you can say pretty much anything about anyone with the most poorly fabricated screenshots, and everyone's just gonna believe it. It's ridiculous. And in many ways, you can call me a hypocrite for making this video. In a way, I am jumping on that bandwagon. I'm doing the same thing. I'm drawing on a terrible event to get views. The difference being that I just really hope that this video was transformative and informative enough to stand on its own. I only want to use the recent drama in heavy quotation marks, as an exemplar of what is happening. I could have used so many things. I know that Mushroom Girl has recently been under fire. I could have used that. It's just slightly less recent and slightly less well known because the accusations are nowhere near as troubling. I used the Synnibear03 example and name to provide an example, but also to get this video out into the mix, hoping that it might give pause to those of you who are currently feverishly making a speed paint for your own videos, considering the matter. Please consider your motivations for doing what you do. Consider it if it is genuinely necessary. I am so tired of seeing children fall into dramas that are so beyond what they should be handling at their ages. Just critical thinking, guys. Come on. And with that, good night. Don't let the content machine bite. Hopefully you'll be hearing from me in less than a year this time.